Hey all, welcome back to Propagandist. I'm Red, and we're going to be doing some more RWBY reactions today, this time to Volume 6, Episode 7. So I hope you're all looking forward to this. Just a few things I want to say before we get into the episode. Obviously one of those things being a recap of what happened last time, but before I get to that, I'd just like to say thank you, obviously, to everybody who's been watching the reactions lately, and leaving likes, commenting, engaging with the videos. It means a lot to me. Thing is, for this Volume 6, I've actually been doing something that I didn't actually do with Volume 5, and that is, I've been actually sharing my videos to the Rooster Teeth RWBY sort of, I don't know what it is, like their Discord, I think it is. And that's actually been giving the videos a bit more exposure than my Volume 5 reactions actually did. And a few of you, you've come across and you've been enjoying the videos and you've been letting me know that you've been enjoying the videos as well, which is always nice to actually hear some feedback from people. It just gives me an idea that, you are actually enjoying my content, and it is worth, me doing what I'm actually doing. Because the thing is, you'll notice that ads do show up on my videos. They are clearly monetized, but they're monetized by Rooster Teeth because, of course, it has their content in it. So when it comes to my YouTube videos, I don't earn any money off what I do. I don't earn a living off YouTube. My channels are not monetized. So any ad that you see, the revenue from that is going to a third party because of, content ID and all that, which is, fine. I'm happy for Rooster Teeth to monetize my RWBY reactions if they so wish, because at the end of the day, the episodes themselves, that's their content. But yeah, like I say, I'm very grateful, of course, to those of you who are watching this and, are engaging with the videos and having a good time, and I'm glad that my content is entertaining you in that regard. So, with that out of the way, where are we then at the moment in terms of RWBY? So, it's been a few days since my last recording session. Basically, I recorded the first 6 episodes quite quickly as part of just 1 or 2 big recording blocks. And now I'm just trying to get a bit of time to actually record some more. So, yeah, in the last episode, Team RWBY, plus Crow, plus Oscar, plus Maria Calavera managed to escape from this spooky Brunswick Farms location after they discovered that it was inhabited by the apathy. Now, not going to lie, I actually quite thought that the apathy was quite an interesting concept for a type of grim, something that doesn't kill you through violence, but instead kills you by kind of getting into your head and making you kind of lose all your willpower and things like that. I thought that was a very interesting concept for a monster, so certainly I quite enjoyed that. What else? We also now have the knowledge that Maria herself actually has silver eyes underneath those goggles, at least that's what she said. So what I'm kind of anticipating here is that maybe Maria is going to become sort of like a mentor character, perhaps, to RWBY, and is going to teach her all about, the power of the silver eyes, and perhaps even start teaching her maybe how to draw upon that power, how to control it, how to use it. Because thing is, the only time we've seen RWBY really sort of majorly unleash her silver-eyed power was at the end of Volume 3, obviously. And in the last episode, we did see sort of flashes of that power coming through again, but it was very sort of sporadic, it was very quick, and it seemed like, RWBY wasn't really able to control it all that well. So I think this is where Maria is going to really come into the story now. I'm thinking that, by the looks of it, she is going to become, like I say, the mentor, the sensei to RWBY, and is going to help her kind of learn more about this power. At least that's the direction I think it's going in. Now, just on the subject of Maria, something else I want to also just kind of talk about just before we get into the reaction of the video itself, because I think this is quite interesting. So, if you watch RWBY religiously, if you've been following it for quite some time, you'll probably, be well aware that when it comes to naming characters in this franchise, everyone's names usually have references, or their names kind of mean something like that. So, just to give a kind of couple of examples off the top of my head. I mean, you take, like, Weiss Schnee, for example. That's German. It translates as white snow. In other words, it's a reference to Snow White, the grim fairy tale. And just another example, take Jean Arc, for instance. His name, I believe, is supposed to be a reference to Joan of Arc, the medieval French woman who led French forces against the English invaders. So basically, what like I say, all the characters in RWBY, you look into their names, there's always some kind of meaning or some reference or something that's going on in them. So I thought it'd be interesting to dig a little bit into Maria Calavera's name and ask, what does that mean, or what's the significance of that name? What's that a reference to? So there's a couple of things that I think are worth noting, and I've actually got them written down on a piece of paper here, just so I don't actually forget. But so, for example, Maria, from my own sort of quick Google searching, is supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, it is. It's believed to be of Latin origin. And there are several different translations that have been offered in terms of what it actually means. So just to give a sense of what there is. So one of the translations is of the sea, another is bitter, beloved, and rebellious. So there's about 4 different potential meanings of the name Maria from what I'm assuming is the Latin origin. So that's kind of curious. I don't know if there's any sort of necessary significance to any of those things. I mean, I feel like still we don't know a lot about Maria Calavera just yet, but I'm sure she will reveal more about her background as we go along. So that's her first name. What about the term Calavera? Does that mean something? So I had a look into that one, and yes, it does. It does mean something. So if you're from a Hispanic country, particularly Mexico, you might already actually know what the meaning of Calavera actually is. But for those of us outside of Mexico, outside of Latin America, who maybe don't know what it is, basically a Calavera is a representation of a human skull. It can either be edible or decorative. If it's edible, it's usually made out of sugar. If it's a decorative, therefore inedible piece, it's usually made out of clay. But essentially, it's a representation of a human skull, and it's mostly associated with the Mexican Day of the Dead, or alternatively, if not the Day of the Dead, with the Roman Catholic All Souls Day. So if you're, not particularly spiritual or religious, and you don't know what those festivals are all about, both the Mexican Day of the Dead and the Roman Catholic All Souls Day are kind of like festivals or days of remembrance, in which basically people commemorate and remember the dead. That's essentially what they're all about. So again, don't know if there's going to be some meaning to that that's going to be tied into Maria Calavera's character, but we'll see. Maybe there's some connection that she has there to maybe deceased relatives or friends, or maybe some connection with the concept and the theme of death. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of mention that up front and get that out of the way, because I thought it was quite interesting. So I'll be curious to see, like I say, if any of that kind of ties in to any aspects of her character. So without further ado, thanks for just listening to me gas on a little bit now. We'll get on with the actual reaction. So jump cut and see you in a second, all. Okay, so we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Now you notice I'm just starting here on this. Hold on, let me just pause. Oh, sorry, I went a little bit too over there. Hold on. I just want to pause for a moment and just pause on this screen. So this is obviously from the opening titles, and something that is worth noting, and I haven't mentioned this yet, but with RWBY's opening titles, I've been looking back over some of the previous volumes, and it's always kind of interesting because the titles sometimes give clues about maybe, well, very vague clues, I should say, about things or tones or themes, things that might be happening in the volume. For example, I think the biggest example that comes to my mind is Volume 3, because if you remember at the very end of Volume 3's opening sequence, it has the 4 Team RWBY members sat back to back. 3 of them have their heads down and RWBY is the only one looking up, which obviously is an allusion to how Volume 3 ends, with obviously Team RWBY split up and only really RWBY seeming like the one who has the willpower to keep going. And yeah, I just want to stop on here because I think this is an interesting little scene to end the opening credits on, because it's like RWBY and Weiss are very much in the foreground there, which I'm just sort of curious whether that kind of ties in with what's happening in this volume. So I think it's just interesting because, when you look at this, it's like Weiss is helping RWBY up, and I'm just wondering if there's some symbolism to that that's going to be revealed. I mean, I feel like Weiss is going to be a key character, potentially, not just in this volume, but possibly in Volume 7 as well, because obviously they're trying to get to Atlas, so they're trying to go back to the one place that Weiss just escaped from. So, yeah, I just want to make a note of that right here, right now, before we get into the episode. So, sorry, I just wanted to pause there and just say that. Right, let's keep going. Okay. So this is called The Grim Keeper, I think, this episode. Incidentally. Which I'm curious about. Oh. Where are we? Oh, hello.
I understand. I've got to get the relic before it can be secured in Atlas. It's the only way that Salem... It's the only way we can accomplish our goal.
Did you just let something slip there without meaning to? Okay, so you
You're
brought...
not the only one who wants Ruby dead. But unfortunately, Salem does not feel the same way.
So you brought Neo to
I've been
the site of your fight
instructed
with Raven.
not to kill her. But you
haven't been.
You have no such orders. You can do as you please.
So I've heard people hypothesizing that there is a link between
Get to Atlas.
Neo
Help me
and
find
Raven's
her.
tribe.
And the rest is up to you.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what the reasoning was, but okay, so they've made an agreement. But yeah, don't spoil anything for me in the comments, though. I'm just sort of saying that rhetorically. So it was basically Cinder told Neo everything, or well, not everything, but a lot of stuff to kind of bring her into the fold a bit. What's going on here? It's like a precarious rope bridge. Who? Hello? Oh. That's a skull mask. Is this young Maria? Oh. She's got sort of like a scythe-type weapon. Kind of smaller, though, than Ruby or Crow's. This has got to be young Maria, hasn't it? Oh, she got two of them. Right. Yes, it's got to be young Maria. It's got to be. Who else would it be? Skull Mask. I was talking about Day of the Dead and all that before. Calavera. The meaning of it. Damn, I guess you own that thing, didn't you? Well, not quite, but... Oh. Use your silver eyes, maybe, if you got them. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's got to be Maria. Yeah, she definitely has kind of like a Mexican vibe to her. I think in like her outfit and her general appearance, which makes sense. Calavera, Day of the Dead, Mexico. So I think it becomes apparent why she wears masks. Probably to hide the fact she has silver eyes. Oh. Hello. Who are these guys?
Well, that's a fancy trick now, innit? Afraid it comes with a price though, love.
Alright, Governor. What's this British accent?
I don't think you realize who I am.
Of course I do. You're the Grim Reaper.
Jeez, those nice teeth.
These are the last 60 seconds of your life.
Yeah, I don't know about that. She's a badass. I told you. I told you she would be. God, yeah, the combat animation has got so much better over the years. Oh. That's a nifty little trick. Well, that's a nifty little... Oh! That's a nifty little trick too. Oh, God. Okay. Aurora's gone.
That's cool. I'll give you that.
This could be a trick.
You know, the only reason my master wants you dead is because of your eyes. As soon as you ain't got 'em no more, you might be able to convince me to spare your life.
Oh, God.
Well, I respect that. I'll fight her to the end.
That's why she has the cyber eyes and all that. Ooh. She has one little final trick up her sleeve.
But I wasn't. I went into hiding soon after.
I can't believe it. You're the Grim Reaper. You were a legend. And then you disappeared.
How exactly does a legend just disappear?
You never used your name. Never showed your face. Lots of us thought you were just laying low. Eventually we came to accept that you were probably dead. But the stories about you... I based my weapon off of yours. I wanted to be as good as the Grim Reaper.
Well, I'm nothing but a disappointment, so you're well on your way.
How can you say that?
Child, a huntress is supposed to protect others to the bitter end. But after I lost my eyes, I only ever looked after myself. Even after my surgery, I was too afraid to fight. Afraid someone would find me again. Finish what the others started. You shouldn't aspire to be like me. Especially when some of you are clearly stronger already. It's comforting seeing that your generation seems up to the task of inheriting this world. I'm just sorry I didn't do more to leave it in better shape.
Well, maybe you can do something now. Teach me to use my powers the way you did.
Who's calling you? Jaune, is it?
It's Jaune!
Yeah.
How?
Hello?
Ruby! Oh, thank you! I've been checking my scroll for your signal since we made it to the city.
The city? Huh? Wait.
Vomit boy. Oh. It's close, I guess. Let's have a look. There you go. Suddenly it's not so snowy
Ladies and
anymore.
gentlemen, we have arrived in Argus.
Methinks your troubles are not going to be over there though, are they? That's a big wall. Oh, Jesus.
Are you all okay? We were so worried.
It's been kind of...
Yeah, Jaune, Ren and Nora
Understatement. Wait.
don't know about everything that happened.
I'm so glad you're all serious.
Oh, Ruby, you going to tell them about what Jin revealed to you? Heartwarming reunion.
Hey. I promised, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. It's good to see you guys.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it'd be.
It's actually one of the largest non-capital cities in all of Remden.
Ah, no way! Oh, wait, wouldn't it be hard to settle something this big away from the main kingdom?
Well, it
I like the
was
aesthetic of
until
it.
Mantle showed up. Wow.
God, look at the detail on those buildings.
Settlement attempts by Mistral didn't go well, but colonists from Mantle were able to help them brave the cold climate in return for goods that Solitas couldn't provide.
The two nations work together to create a hybrid
Tryst in
city.
the Mist.
While it still falls under Mistral domain, Atlas keeps a military presence
I like
to
this
help keep
place.
people safe and to keep trade between the two nations steady.
It's like a snowy San Francisco with its streetcars. Sorry, I'll try not to talk too much over them.
We should probably start looking for a ship.
So, where have you guys been staying?
There you are!
Who's this?
Is that...
Hey, Sap.
Wait, a relative?
I can't believe I'm meeting your sister! I have so many questions.
One of them.
Oh, I can give you the rundown later.
Will you guys knock it off?
What? I love telling stories about my baby brother.
I am not a baby! That is a baby.
Oh, look at your little face.
He's an adorable looking child.
Saffron, you're the only Ark living here?
Yep, moved the second I could. Jaune and I are the only two living away from home. I guess he just wanted to be like his big sis. Aw, you didn't deny it. Everyone, this is my wife, Terracotta.
Very nice to meet you.
Hello, Terracotta.
Why, hello there. Wow, quite a party. You weren't kidding. Hun, could I get some help, please?
And you're sure it's alright if we stay with you? Of course. We're happy to house huntsmen and huntresses.
You all risk so much to keep people like us safe. It's the least we can do. Especially for such an elite huntsman like yourself. Although I will say I was surprised to learn you had students helping you. Is that even legal?
Of course. Think of it as an extended training mission. Trust me, I was a professor. Even went to the same academy as them. And let me tell you, these kids are way better than we were at their age. Well, not better than me, specifically, but a lot of students.
Shut up, there's food!
Some delicious looking sarnies. Very big sandwiches too.
Excuse me, I'll be right back. Hello?
Is everything okay?
Oh, yeah, it will be. Terra's a technician for the town's relay tower. Unfortunately, the military's radar system is also housed there. Guess what's been on the fritz lately and who's getting falsely blamed? Me. So, what's your plan for tomorrow?
Yeah, Ruby.
Well, we're trying to make our way to Atlas. We'll probably start with the military base.
So, we kind of already tried that, and it didn't go super great.
Come on, it couldn't be that bad.
Just you wait and see. Well, there you go. They've locked you out. Oh, and there we go. That's the end of the episode. That was quite a heartwarming one. So we got a bit more on Maria to get us started. So she apparently was a pretty damn good warrior back in the day. They called her the Grim Reaper. Makes sense, obviously. You know, the death theme and all that. Okay, just saying right now, Maria may have quickly risen up to be one of the characters who I think is quite interesting in this franchise. So maybe we'll get more on her. I definitely think it's going in that direction of making her into the sort of the sensei character, to put it that way. Okay, let me just jump cut here, just so I can stop the footage. Well, there you go. That was an episode and a half. I really enjoyed that one. So we got the background on Maria. We've also actually met one of Jean Arc's siblings for the first time, which is interesting. Because, what was it? 7 sisters that he has. So no doubt there's something, though, going on with this transmission tower that Terracotta works at as a technician in this whole military radar system. So I'm sure that's going to come into play then in the next or subsequent episodes. What else? I actually quite like the design of Argus as a city. It's very San Francisco-esque, just like with the steep hills, the architecture, the streetcars going around all over the place, except the difference being that this is apparently a snowy climate rather than necessarily a hot one. So yeah, I just really like it. You know, I will say this about Volume 6 so far. I'm really enjoying it. Because the thing is, obviously, I think what kind of got many people into RWBY in the first instance with volumes 1 and 2 was that it had obviously that very action-packed but also quite sort of light-hearted vibe to it, you know, with the whole sort of Beacon Academy, you know, everyone's kind of a student, because, you know, there's a lot of stories that have that kind of setup of, you know, the main characters being students and this amazing or prestigious academy, this really wacky place that they go to for their education. You know, the closest analogy to that would be something like Harry Potter, for instance. Closest analogy from my, you know, from my own experience, looking at the sort of content that I do, for example, on my Strategist Gaming channel, would be something like Danganronpa, where you have the a lot of like really colourful characters in like a school setting, Hope's Peak Academy. So yeah, that's I think kind of what drew people in initially with RWBY. But then of course Volume 3 came, you had the tone shift, it got more serious, a lot darker. Then you had Volumes 4 and 5, which had a very different kind of vibe to them in terms of, I think, you know, because obviously you had Team RWBY sort of scattered throughout those and slowly coming back together, and so it was each team member kind of going about their own thing. But Volume 6 kind of almost feels like we're getting a bit of the sort of vibe of the earlier volumes coming back again. At least to me it feels that way, you know, because we've still got those action sequences and there's still that sort of heavy, darker element with some of the exposition that has happened so far in terms of the backstory of Ozpin, for instance, and things like that. But at the same time, because Team RWBY is back together now, it just goes back to the sort of hijinks that we saw in the initial couple of volumes of this franchise. So, for example, like, you know, in episode 1 of Volume 6, you know, we had that old school RWBY Yang dynamic, you know, when RWBY had the gift bags at the train station, things like that. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying this volume. It's maintaining some of the darker, more serious tones of more recent volumes, but at the same time, it's always kind of bringing back a little bit of the light-heartedness in certain respects that I feel like the earlier volumes had. And combine that with the fact that the aesthetic just looks gorgeous now, and that so far the animation, particularly the combat scenes, has really become so much smoother. It's really improved, things like that. It's just, you know, really doing well. It's ticking a lot of the right boxes for me at the moment, so I'm really interested in just watching more and seeing how it turns out. I know there's been some criticism apparently of like the final fight scene in this. I don't know what the final fight scene in this is, I haven't spoiled myself, but I'm aware that there has been some criticism of it from some quarters. I don't know, you know, how kind of valid or how much, you know, what to think of that, but we'll see. I mean, so far this volume is onto a winner. I really enjoy it. So yeah, hope you all join me for my reaction to episode 8. As soon as I can get that recorded, I will do so. So I'm recording this actually on a Sunday, Sunday the 16th of October. I do have a bit of a busy working week ahead of me, so I may or may not get time to do the recordings in the next few days. If I don't, then I'll probably try and do it next weekend if I can. So there's the potential that there may be some slight delays between next episodes in this Let's Watch, which I'm sure you understand. A lot of us have obviously commitments outside of, you know, our hobbies and things like that, which do take up our time. So all I say is, you know, do bear with me. Like I said at the start, I'm grateful, of course, for, you know, all your engagement with the series and the fact that, you know, you are giving me feedback on it. Other than that, I think I'll wrap up here. So thanks once again, everybody. Hope you'll join me for the next part. As I mentioned a moment ago, my main channel is General Red Strategist, where I do a lot of eclectic gaming content. So if you're interested in that, go and check it out. Link in the video description. I'm sure there might be something over there that interests you. But other than that, goodbye everybody, and I'll see you next time.